Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Kashif Boothe podcast. If you're new here, each week I sit down with a guest and we discuss their career so far, the highs, the lows, and what's next for them. Today's guest is Thomas Duverne. We met back in 2019 at the Black Web Fest, where my short film Black Man Stand was screened, and his film, which he directed and produced, called Greed, was also screened. So, good to have you on the show, Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I acted in it too, bro. I
Oh
acted
yeah,
in it
sorry,
too.
my
So
bad, my bad. See, he's a triple threat out here.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's a
So
triple threat. You know, he even has an issue with us Brits as well. We had a little debate. I remember back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
But we'll get
yeah.
into that later. So welcome to the show. As I said, we met in 2019, and there was a bunch of us who kind of all connected and got on really well. There was Kate Dia. I don't know if you remember her. She had her web series, Leah the Late Bloomer, and
Right,
we
right, right,
had
right,
her
right.
on the first season of my podcast, where it was all about Black women in film and TV. And I've also recently
Nice.
interviewed Jason Pierre and Stephen, who both, like, Jason had that film called Existential Donut. I don't know if you remember. It was like
Right,
the
right, right, right. I
yeah.
remember. I remember.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember.
And then there was Stephen's film where it was about his wife, who Stephen Pierre, Saint Pierre, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
My
wife
fellow
was
Haitian.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he was like, and his wife is she was a drug addict. So I've had him on as well. So like all of us got on really well.
Cool.
So I thought, okay, season two.
Oh, damn. You had them before me. That's crazy.
Well, somebody's very
Here.
busy. Like I've been trying to like connect and like you just been taking
I
very
feel you.
long. So
I feel you. I feel you.
but we all kind of got on really well. And I thought, okay, when I'm doing season two, I'm so busy. So I was like, okay, it'll be easier because it's over Zoom. I can get all my US
Yeah.
contacts and chat to you guys first. So yeah, so you guys are
Gotcha.
like the early parts of season two. So it's good to have you on.
Cool, man. Cool. Cool.
Yeah. So like tell us about you, Thomas. Like how did you get into like directing and acting and producing, like your triple threats? How did you get started?
Well, I'm an actor first, so like I studied acting for like 10 years ago while I was in college. I did like a semester in uh, American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And then while I was in college, one of my professors told me about HB Studio, and I did like a core program as soon as I graduated. And from there, I've been taking it pretty serious. And with the filmmaking, I've always been like a film buff. So like I was always that guy that was like watching Criterion films, like all the classics, and finally got an opportunity to direct my first short film, which you saw was Greed, and that was a fun experience for sure. So yeah, and I'm still doing it right now. I'm like writing short films, trying to get better at being behind the camera, learning more about what it's like to be a director and be a very good producer, because that's like bro, that's a headache in itself. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Because, like, as an actor, are you doing this because, okay, you want to be able to start or have the roles that you want to be in to be able to, like, put out there? Is that the main reason why you got into it, or it just kind of fell into it?
that's a good. Yeah, yeah, I like the creative control, because a lot of times when you are like in somebody else's project, you can't control how they push it or how they package the film. I'm such a creative head because I do visual arts as well, so I have ideas for a poster or how the trailer should go. So it definitely gave me that power to just be the master of my own fate, kind of thing.
No, that's true. That's good that
Yeah,
you are doing that because I always say to actors who I work with that you should learn the industry, understand the business of the industry because no one's going to give you a role. Like there's hundreds of people going after the same
yeah,
role that you're auditioning for. And, when we take away race and gender and all that stuff in terms of this industry, everyone's always looking for that big break. They're looking for that one break. But at the same time, if you're creating your own content, then you're already putting yourself in a better position to get to where you want to be. Everyone uses Issa Rae as an example because yes, she did that. She wrote, she produced, she did what she had to do to now be where she is now. So it's always
right,
good to just hear that. And you've got to understand
yeah,
it because you want to make sure that you are giving your best as an artist, because we are all artists. And so when you are acting or doing someone else's stuff, it's their vision. So you just kind of have to go along with it regardless. And so when it's
Yeah,
just your
exactly.
own,
There's
maybe
only but so much you can control. Yeah, like I did
exactly.
this program like 2 weeks ago, and it was a very it was a beautiful program where you got a bunch of filmmakers, you got a bunch of actors, and we're trying to do like 26 short films in 2 weeks. So they have each actors in two short films, and so when the films were finished screening, like, well, even after the shoot was over, I realized like, damn, like it's really up to the director now to just do what the fuck he wants to do with the film. Like I can't tell him use this bit or use this part of the scene or whatever. So it's definitely a lot of trust. And I know for a lot of creatives, that's a hard thing for them to just let go of. But yeah, having that control. But I will say this too, filmmaking is like a passion of mine, like for sure. It's not just a creative control thing, but it's also like
Mhm.
my eye is definitely, I have a director's eye, so to speak. So I enjoy that process as well.
You made a good point, because like where you said that, you're leaving it to the director to then, like, okay, you're putting all your faith in them to kind of get your vision across. With me
Right.
as
Yeah.
being like a creative producer, my process is particularly, the audiences have probably heard this already, is that I come up with concepts and ideas, then I'm able to get a writer or do it through writers' rooms. Then I write a treatment to be able to get the director that I want who matches that style. So I'm
Yeah.
telling the director, look, this is what I want. Can you do it? Do you get it? Then if they say yes, and we're vibing, and it's like, okay, yeah, I you understand the aesthetic that I want, cool, then I trust you to be able to get it. That's the only way it's worked for me. I mean, you have trial and
Right.
error, you interview people, if they get it, they don't, but you kind of
Yeah.
searching. So that's kind of the creative, I would say, the freedom I've been able to have with that as well, because I've not really like, to a certain degree, I've not really handed over my projects to directors to do. I've even just directed it myself to,
Oh,
because I
word.
knew
All
I
right.
wanted it and stuff. But now, because I don't really class myself as a director, but I want to be able to work with certain level of people who understand what I want. So yeah,
Right.
I get
And
that.
part of it is like, I'm sure for you, in your
Mhm.
situation, you have to have an eye of like
Yeah,
what a good director is
yeah.
in terms of like how he breaks down a script,
Hmm.
how he tells a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a lesson in itself. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like been the wave I've been on recently, just
Hmm.
getting better at that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So with you as a actor and filmmaker, what is your aesthetic and style? Like, what do you kind of want to make? Because Greed was quite different to what I've seen. It was like a drama film, but then touched on, life lessons about greed and stuff. And
Right, 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 right.
it wasn't funny, but it was also, for me, I have dark humor. So
Same
for
here, bro.
yeah, yeah. So I have
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
humor. So
UK people got a lot of dark shit
yeah.
for sure. I think that's why I fuck with you guys.
Exactly. But like
But
Greed, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but because of the ending of Greed was quite dark, and I found it funny because, if you didn't have greed, then you
yeah,
would have been able to live your life. But
right,
so
right.
like, what kind of stuff do you want to make, or what are you writing? Because you said you're writing a short at the moment. So what is it you want?
Yeah,
What kind of roles are you going after and stuff?
I like the gritty, dark comedy
Okay.
type of stories. Like I've always been a fan of like the Midnight Cowboys, the Taxi Drivers.
Hmm.
So I think for me, it's just about finding those type of stories and connecting it with the Black experience, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So the short I'm working on now, it's definitely like a character study. It touches on mental illness. So yeah, it has that grittiness, so to speak. But yeah, I would say a lot of dark shit. Black Mirror is one of my favorite shows. I love that. Ozark. What else? It depends. It depends. But dark comedy for sure is where I'm at right now.
We need more of it. I mean, there's a lot, like, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't say Jordan Peele's work is dark humor, but at the same time, it depends on how you resonate with his content. So with Get Out, for
Right.
example, Laurel. Little, that's his name. Can't remember. In it, he was hilarious because he was talking definitely from the experience of a black person. Like he
Right,
told you, why are
right.
you going up with all those white girls, like
Yeah,
to the white girl's family, and look what happened.
exactly.
And and we all as black people, I mean, we all jokingly say that. I mean, you go too far out of England, we're like, spot the black person, because yeah,
Right, right, right,
yeah,
right,
only
right.
London. Wait, only London, Birmingham, Manchester, and maybe an area called Bristol are very diverse. Everywhere else, you're like, okay, where are we? Where you're trying to look for
I
yourself.
feel
So,
you.
so
I
yeah, so
feel you.
we can relate to the same kind of thing. So it's about it would be really good to see more black people in those spaces with the black sci-fi and stuff, because you had that
Yeah,
black cowboy
science
film
fiction is
recently and stuff.
definitely something that I
Mhm.
want to like explore in the future. But as of right now, it's definitely grounded in like everyday
Mhm.
outcast type of narratives. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's really cool. That's really cool. It's good to hear because we kind of want to diversify the content. Because like with us in the UK, like we don't really have that community of, or not community, but not really that creative space to be able to take risks or be able to have different type of content.
Really?
No, we don't. So a lot of the time it's like the content which is commissioned is very repetitive. So we'll have like films or shows which are commissioned, which are just about struggle and pain, or we grew up in like the hood, for example. Like that's literally
Got you,
it.
got you,
I
got you,
don't know if you've
got you.
seen, it is on Netflix, but we've got Top Boy on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, is that the one with Drake? Drake's behind that, right? As the
yeah,
producer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But what you guys don't know is that's a reboot. So there was two seasons which aired in the UK, and then Drake
Got
loved it, and then it got picked up and rebooted for Netflix.
That's all you
So
need, man. You just need Drake to fucking co-sign something, and
well,
then
Drake is like, he's like a cousin. He comes over here, he starts speaking all
right.
UK slang.
Yeah,
So
he can. I mean, he can be anybody these days. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I feel you.
exactly, exactly.
But
And we have a
so,
lot
what
of
happened when
black
he got
cast.
on board?
Well, he kind of revived it. His production.
Oh,
Well, he was
okay.
able to revive it, and then I think LeBron James's production company were the one who actually produced it as well. So there was a mixture
Ah,
of US directors and UK directors like directing it, and they've just wrapped the new season recently, actually. So we have a lot of that content which is just like Top Boy. With Top Boy is brilliant, we love it, but at the same time that's literally it. You may have heard of Chewing Gum with
mm,
Michaela Cole. Like that was like, okay, a little branch to open up the doors to be able to like have more content out there, but then she killed it with I May Destroy You. But it's like it's not until you get to a certain level where they want to take the risk for you to be able to
yeah,
build
yeah. That's for
content.
sure. That's for sure. Because
And
there's money
that's what we
involved,
want.
right?
Yeah, but they don't, because they don't really have faith in it. I've been to loads of like diversity talks in the UK, and they say, well, if they don't know this certain amount of black people are going to watch it, they're not going to commission it. But there's only
Right,
3% black people in this country. So yeah, of course it's going to be like 1.2 million
right,
people tuning in.
right,
So if everybody loves Fresh Prince, everybody loves Cosby and
right,
Martin and all that stuff, we watch that over here, we love it. So there's no reason why you can't. We had a show called The Desmonds, which was set in like
right.
it was, they weren't Jamaican. I think they were Bayesian. I think they were Bayesian, but it was set like in a barber shop. That's the only black family kind of show we've ever had. And so we kind
Got
of,
you.
so we can't even take that risk. But in America, you guys like, you're so far ahead. So that's why,
So that's why y'all keep coming to
yeah,
America.
see, exactly. See,
Okay,
that's
I
why I wanted
got
to,
you.
I wanted to educate you. Because
Wow,
guys,
here
we
I
had like a
am.
debate.
Here I am already like
That's why.
beefing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Okay,
want to educate you. That's why we
damn.
come. That's why we come over
That's what
there.
this interview is about. Real okay, I got you. I
Well,
got
I
you.
just want I dropped that in there, I just want I dropped that in there because like that's what it is. So when you see loads of black Brits there, like I understand the debate and I understand the conversation, because like with the controversy with Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton, I understood why people would be annoyed because he was
Right,
playing a
right,
black African American historical figure. So I understood that I would be annoyed if an American was playing a black British historical figure. I got that because I agreed. Like, yeah, it should have been an American. But when it comes to like
right.
any everyday role, it could be anyone. I mean, I just feel like because it's acting at the end of the day, and
It
when
is
you look
acting,
at,
yeah.
yeah, but then
And,
like let's
and,
keep it
and
real. Tay Diggs in She's Gotta Have It, when he played that Jamaican, that accent wasn't good.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we're in a different place right now where there's so many talented actors who come
Mhm.
from all types of, they come from different part of the Black experience, and they could play. I'm Haitian, so I can play a Haitian character. It wouldn't make sense to get a Haitian actor to play that role because they know what it takes to play that role authentically. But at the same time, it is acting. Because, when I look at Daniel Kaluuya, I was even watching Snowfall with Damson Idris. You can say whatever you want to say about them, but they're still doing the work. You know what I mean? I'm still floored at like Damson Idris isn't really from California. He's playing that as if he was raised in Inglewood and Compton or something. Like, you know what I mean? So there is that dialogue, but at the same time, there is a lot of talented American actors out there who they're waiting for that shot. They have something to prove, and they're well trained as well.
Of course.
So it's interesting, but my thing is it's about taking that control. It's about creatively empowering yourself so that you're not waiting for somebody else to give you that opportunity. You know what I mean? And it's more work on us, but it puts you in a position where you're not complaining. Instead, you're making it happen. So I guess it's an ongoing debate, but
I feel like it's divisive between us because we should not even be talking about this. There's so many white Australians, white British.
It's like the crab in a barrel mentality, really, if you think about it.
There's loads, but you don't hear the white people in the film and TV industry complaining about the Australians coming and taking all the roles, or the white Brits. Like they're just there,
because they have so much. But that's the thing, though. They have so much material. They have so many people working behind the scenes to produce whatever it is that they need to produce. We don't have as much lanes to occupy, if that makes sense. So when that one person gets an opportunity, it's probably taking food away from hundreds of people waiting online. But the mentality people have to have is like, why are we waiting online to begin with? Why don't we just create our own lanes, so to speak? So it's like they're not gonna give it to us, bro. Like that's why you got to produce, you got to direct, you got to be behind the scenes, you got to educate yourself on what it takes to run a crew and write and make shit happen. So
but it's also always a good discussion because, like, for me, I'm not offended by anyone saying what they're saying because it's like I understand your point of view. At the same time, it's such a global industry. It's such a global industry.
Exactly.
It's not even to the stereotypes that people have of Americans is that, they don't know anything about the rest of the world, but you wouldn't know that us Brits grew up watching all of the shows you guys love. So we saw our representation in you guys because we didn't have we didn't have Moesha, we didn't have a sister, we didn't have any of them. Keenan and Kel, we love all that because we saw ourselves in that, because I can't think of any. There's one maybe Black show, but that didn't happen until I was way older, So growing up in the 90s, that's all we had.
I never thought about it like that. That's crazy.
So that's why we look to America and we're like, okay, this is where we can go, because it's that kind of way where we can explore creativity and be able to reach the levels of where we want to go. There's there's a ceiling where you can go to a certain point and it's that's it, unless they let one person through. It's just it's very tokenism. So it's they have the token Black people who they will specifically have in everything. You'll just see them one breaks through and that's it. They'll just be happy. Oh yeah, that person's acceptable.
It's interesting when you compare the glass ceilings with the US industry, the Black industry in the US and the Black and the industry for you guys in the UK. That's interesting. But one thing I've noticed with you guys when it comes to your actors, it's not stigmatized like it is in America sometimes. I mean, in America, a lot of our actors are known as celebrities, but over there, I feel like actors are championed like it's a noble job. You guys have such a rich history in terms of theater, which I think that's what the industry looks at. And so naturally, when a UK actor comes up for an audition, they tend to lean more to their interpretation of the American experience versus an American's interpretation of an American experience. So I think that's why it's I think that's why it's important for people to know people really do study the craft. I know I put in years of taking acting classes. Even this summer, like I took courses. Like you know, it's not a hobby. It's not a, you know, let me just try this out and say some lines. You know, but yeah.
Yeah. But that's I totally get it. And it's very interesting, and it's I do kind of hate that there's this kind of like back and forth, because it's like it's divisive, and
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't need
distracting
to
for
happen.
sure.
It's distracting. But I mean, yeah, but we'll move on, and everyone's
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
continue, because where with Black Lives Matter at the peak of it last year, it's so globally as well. That's like there
Right,
has
right.
been a lot of change here. Like just before I came and talked to you, like I was talking to a director I'm working with, and like she just finished a big job out in Morocco, and now there's more calls like for her to be able to direct more shows and stuff like that. So it's like
Ah,
they're
okay.
now seeing it, but at the same time, it's like I'm saying to everyone, grab any opportunity as you can, because at the same time, like loads of people who are writers and stuff, for example, had loads of meetings with agents, production companies at the height of George Floyd's murder last year, and
Yeah,
then they went ghost. They didn't contact them again. So it's like, yeah,
right.
so it's very what's the word, performative. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, exactly.
that's also the thing as well, because you know how things are, it's very of trend. So like you're saying, with loads
Right,
of black
right,
Brits out there killing it. Daniel's Kaluuya's, he's won the Oscar, so he's a whole nother league, right? But again, it's a trend. So it's like, okay, wow, they're seeing all these Brits. So your point could be that they're just going for the Brits because you know they're it's new, it's fresh, it's different. Then it
right.
could be over. We could probably not book anything for years, because they're tired of the black Brits now. They want to move on to something else. And that's what I've seen with the industry. It comes in waves. Like, you know, they'll love a Lupita Nyong'o, then it's a Zendaya, they want to make the big star. Do you get what I'm saying? So
But it's important to like not even give them that type of power. You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
Like
Yeah.
the people
Mhm.
like who are the ones to say, you know, this person's in, this person's not in. I mean, I know it's a real thing, but
Mhm.
I think it's important to not acknowledge it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
It's like being independent minded kind of.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So before we started, we were talking about your film Greed and stuff, and you know it had a tumultuous time. We'll say that with it.
Yeah.
What would you say you've learned from that experience? You know, directing and producing someone else's work, and what how would you take from what you've learned into your next project and what you do from now on?
I will only produce and direct content that I've written is what I took from it.
Okay.
Unless I have like such a great chemistry with that writer.
Hmm.
Um, but it really highlighted my leadership skills. I mean, at least highlighted what I needed to work in. Because when I was on set for Greed, I was nervous as a motherfucker. Like even there was a point where I was gonna ask everybody, "Hey, you guys want to take 5 minutes to, you know, for a break?" I said it so low with so like with no confidence, like people just like kept talking over me. It was just like because I was so out of my element. Like acting is what I'm confident in, but you know, it's a learning experience. I did it because I wanted to see what I needed to work on and get better and you know evolve as a creative. But one thing I would say I'm confident in when it comes to being behind the scenes, especially as a director, is communicating with the actor because, as you know, like acting is what I do. So that was the
Yeah.
thing that I went into it that gave me confidence to know I could do the job when it came to that specific thing. But yeah, I guess knowing how to delegate, you
Yeah.
know, knowing how to choose the right people to be in the same room. You know, it's kind of like being a GM or a coach. You know, like you might not pick players who are the most talented, but you're gonna pick the players who complement each other the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just having an eye for talent and yeah, having an eye for to know which the type of people that you need and not asking anybody to do something that you wouldn't do. That's always been kind of like my motto too whenever I'm in a leadership position. So and you know, I'm still growing as a producer, as a filmmaker, as a writer. So I'm not completely there yet.
That's good. I think it's great that you've learned from that experience in that way. Um, I think it
First short film too. First short film. So I was, yeah, not to
yeah,
cut you off. But
No,
yeah,
no, it's fine. I think that was good that you did learn from that experience because it is good for you to know how to then just focus on your own stuff so you know how to write, produce, direct, and stuff like that. Definitely do it first
right.
because I did the same thing. It wasn't, I didn't have that experience in terms of like, horror experience like that, but I did it because I couldn't afford to pay anybody or I wasn't in that position to be able to free up my roles and delegate. I was like, okay, well, I can produce, I can shoot, I can do what I can
Yeah,
do with my camera, and I can direct, and I can get actors, I can do all of that stuff. I made sure that I wrote scripts which were easy to get done in one day, so it worked within my budget and stuff like that. And then I was
got
able
you.
to grow like that. But I feel like you will be able to learn as you kind of continue to work with new people and people you like. And it's about, building that rapport and vibe and stuff like that. And always finding people who have that same work ethic as you, because that is very
Yeah,
difficult to find.
and I think paying
Mhm.
people
Oh yeah.
also helps.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because when
I'm not
people work
saying
for free, you
yeah.
don't get the best work ethic at all. And
No.
it was my first short
Mhm.
film, so a lot of it was just,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, help me out, blah blah blah. But next short for sure, I'm paying people,
Yeah.
so they're
Yeah.
gonna get paid well.
Yeah.
So if I yell at them, I have a reason to yell at them because they're getting.
Yeah, yeah. I totally understand that. You cannot be polite. You cannot be
Yeah, not yet,
polite.
bro. That
No.
was the biggest thing for me because I'm such a I'm an empath
Hmm.
naturally, right?
Okay.
I mean, I'm getting better at like letting that go and having boundaries, but you can't be afraid to like tell people what to do
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
That's really what the position is when you're producing a
Mhm.
filmmaker, and so that was what it made me realize, like, because the minute you act nice, somebody's just gonna feel comfortable just half-assing the work. So you really got to get in their face and
Mhm. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah. I
make
totally
shit
understand.
happen.
Yeah, because when I started doing it like with a web series I did called Nate and Jamie, yeah, I had to pull like mentees who I was mentoring and like who wanted to gain more experience, so they were able to shoot and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I was able to get them for free because they wanted to learn and grow. So it was just pure collaboration with the actors as well. But yeah, when they were late, when the lead actors were just strolling in late, I had to just bite my
Getting
tongue.
that ass.
It's funny, yeah. I say that, but that's a lie. That's a lie because I'm a very
Yeah.
shady person. So they got it. My,
Oh,
like your
okay.
safety on your gun, it was off. But they know it was all
Okay.
love. And not really.
Right. I
Well,
mean, as long as it's respect for sure. Nah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
get you.
yeah. Of
I
course. I
get you,
wasn't
man.
dogging them out or anything. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, I can't really be too upset or anything. I'll just make light fun of it, do a little playful banter. But that was it.
Right, right, right. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know what you mean.
So I
That's
took
my
it.
approach as well too. That's my approach as well too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I feel like with over time, I feel like you will like, for example, it feels like the person you did work with the issues you did face, it felt like it was just their lack of experience. And what I mean
Oh
is,
yeah,
yeah,
for
because like
sure, for sure.
some because I'm a freelance producer, so the projects I tend to work on is like, okay, if I'm working with a writer and she's come to me about her project. So for example, I did a project called Talia Verses, right? That's a web
Yeah,
series, and she came to me, the writer, as a writer. So she wanted me to exec produce it, right? So she also ended up directing it and co-directing it with somebody else. So she was able to know that she could leave faith with me to be able to produce it well and then handle distribution and do what I need to do with it. But at the same time, she wasn't like nervous about, whoa, okay, if you're gonna, what are you doing? Why are you taking so much control? Or
right,
why are you
right.
doing this?
That's where you
If it
pull
wasn't
out
for
the
me,
contracts.
yeah, if it wasn't for me, yeah, she would
Right,
not have had the lead actress who's amazing and was perfect for the role. And because of
exactly.
my reputation, she was smart to get people like me on board. Because of my reputation, loads of people
Right,
came on board because they wanted to work with me. And it's like, well, look, this is a great project. That's how you're able to do it. If you're working with somebody who is a writer and they want to be able to not have creative control, but be able to still have that input, they would have said, okay, I want to be exec producer and I still want to be overseeing everything what you're doing and be able to work with you. So then when I do stuff, like I said, as a creative producer, they know I'm in charge. So they report back
right.
to me. And then so it's
And,
like, okay, cool. That's how we work together to be able to get it together as a collaboration, but you're still getting paid, if that makes sense.
and that's yeah, exactly. That makes complete sense. And that's the key. It's like being educated and knowing what each title calls for.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm, like you could Google that. You know what I'm saying? So when people are not doing the work, it's like, all right, I already see what's going on. But exactly.
Yeah. And I think it's good that you had that experience so early in your career. And why I say that is because you'll be able to pick up on signs on who not to work with. So you've dealt with somebody who doesn't understand the industry. And because we're in this industry, you're always going to have people, bro, I write, and I've got this
Right,
and
right,
I've
right.
got that. And it's like, that's cool. But let me put you to this person because I haven't got time to deal with this because you're going to give me
Right,
this.
right.
You
Exactly.
know?
And it's not an ego thing. It's
No.
just,
Hmm.
bro, like, people are trying to do this for a living. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
I think the biggest thing about this industry, momentum is everything.
Yeah.
And you don't want to like kill that shit
No.
because
No.
you got the wrong person in your circle, or they don't understand, or they don't understand how you pushing the project to this specific festival can help everybody else. But because they're in their
Mhm,
feelings and they have an ego,
mhm.
they keep that from happening,
Yeah.
etc. So it's important.
Yeah, it is. And that it's always about with this industry, as you know, it's always about learning as you go and learning as you grow as a filmmaker, and you be able to develop your style and your aesthetic, but then also the type of people you want to work with, because it's always
Yeah,
about who you know, not what you know, and then and that's how you kind of move forward as a solid team. And that's the only way projects, for me, in my opinion, have been successful. That's when people, let's say if you are working on a limited budget, that's when people will do things for a favor. They will, be able to take a lower rate, or they'll be able to like, okay, yeah,
right.
sure, I can pay you like
Credibility,
this,
man. It's
whatever.
credibility.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And
credibility.
you still, and because everyone's passionate about what they're doing, they want it to be amazing, because at the end of the day, everyone's name's going to be on the project as well. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's cool. That's good. That's good. So yeah, that sounds good. So I mean, so next in terms of, I know you're writing, but then what are you doing next to like with your acting and stuff like that? Like what have you been progressively doing during this whole like COVID time and stuff like that to get to where you are for your new goals and stuff?
So during COVID, like it gave me the first opportunity to really take in what my life would be like if I was a full-time artist, because I didn't have the odd job anymore to go to. So like I had to get on my P's and Q's
Okay.
type of thing. So I've been writing a few shorts. I've submitted them to a few competitions. I mainly submit them though just to get feedback, because I don't know too many people in the industry like that. So me paying like $75 for a competition is worth it, because at least I'm gonna get like 4 pages of feedback, and that will make a difference in my writing style and me growing as a storyteller. So I've been doing that. I just came from a 2-week program where, like I said before, we were in Greenport, Long Island, where you got like a group of filmmakers, a group of actors, and we all did 26 short films. I was in 2 of them. I'm going to release them via Vimeo next week, so that should be on my social media.
Good.
They're pretty good. Yeah. And I'm really excited about the short film that I just finished writing. I'm a crowdfund for.
Good.
That's giving me all types of anxiety, bro. I hate
I just
asking
did
people for money.
I just did
I
it,
hate.
and it was hell. It
Yeah,
was hell. I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna actually
The
record
prep work for
an
that is crazy. But go ahead.
I'm gonna do an episode on it solo, like a solo episode about crowdfunding and how it was hell, and I'll
Yeah.
never do it again. So good luck.
Oh, really?
Don't do
Oh,
it on Kickstarter. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't do it on Kickstarter. Do it
oh.
on
I
like,
was gonna do Seed and Spark.
oh, I've not heard of them. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just choose
they're pretty
anyone
good.
where choose one where you still get the money even if you don't reach your goal. Just
Right, right.
Indiegogo, GoFundMe. There's another one called I don't know if it's available in the US, but I think it's called the Green Lit Fund. I don't know if that's available in the US, but check it out. And
Okay.
yeah, but
That's like one of the worst and the best things about this industry. You have to rely on people. I'm
yeah,
such a like. Sometimes I have that Michael Jordan mentality where it's just like, give me the fucking ball, everybody get the fuck out the way,
yeah,
and you know
mhm,
what I mean. Let me do my thing. But in this industry, you really have to depend on people. And
yeah.
yeah, man, having to ask people for money is not my thing, right? To
Mhm.
be honest, like,
It's
but
not.
we'll see. We'll see.
How
It's
much are you
definitely
trying
prep
to
work.
raise? How much are you trying to plan
So
to
I
raise?
was saying 6,000.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a good amount for what? How long is
Yeah,
the short? How long is it?
the short film is 20 minutes.
Whoa. Okay. So this will be good for the listeners to hear. So how many locations?
Because she was like, you might have to bump that up. You think I should bump? You think I should bump it up?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a producer. So
I got a camera. I got my Black Magic
okay,
4K.
that's nice. That's nice.
But go ahead.
So like how many scenes are there and not how many scenes, how many locations are there and how many actors?
All right, so bro, there's a lot of actors. There's shit. Damn, you put me on the spot right now. One, say 8.
Okay. And location?
8 actors. Location. We got a few outdoors, so we got a car, office, bedroom. Say 4.
Okay, 4. And how many days are you intending to shoot as well?
I haven't mapped that out yet.
You need to map that out.
Yeah, I haven't mapped that out yet. I'm gonna talk to you. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you for some advice for sure, but I haven't mapped out.
Yeah, the way how I budget is that what I do is once I have the script and stuff, I do a mock schedule of how I'm going to shoot it. So then I know how many days I'm going to need crew, actors, whatever for that
right
day. So I'm able to know how to budget and stuff. So when you're incorporating hair, makeup, wardrobe, set design, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm still in the beginning of the pre-production, but I feel you. I still got to do like the table read, just to hear the script out loud. So it's just that. Even that is going to be a process, and storyboarding. So
exactly. So just do a little bit more prep because I'm thinking maybe 6 to 10.
You know what's funny? I was thinking so 8 initially was my thing, but you know how it is in this industry. You talk to one filmmaker who's crowdfunded, and he's telling you, oh, you don't need that much money. Oh man, you could just do that with 6,000. So I'm just like, what the fuck? So well, yeah, I'm gonna do my due diligence and do all the work and really settle on a number for sure.
Yeah. But definitely 6 to 10. I think you're probably gonna have to come back on the show and then just like update
and tell you the updates.
Yeah.
That'll be tight.
That'll be tight.
I
feel like that was
tight. Make this into a vlog for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it was good. Definitely great having you on the show, Thomas. I feel like we had a.
Oh damn, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got
this was fun. Yeah, for sure. No, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
No, it was good. It's good. So where can people find you or to check you out and like the new stuff you've got coming up in terms of like the 2 films coming out on Vimeo and to like support your campaign and stuff like that when it launches?
IG is the main source. So it's Thomas.Duverne, Duverne.
Nice.
And that's the link. That's the name.
Nice. Well, good. Well, thanks again for coming on. Like I said to you before, like I was planning to come to New York again. COVID hit, stopped that. I was literally supposed to come like 3 times last year. I was going to hit you guys off. All the US contacts I made were like, yeah, let's catch up.
Cool, man.
All my Brits and all that.
No problem. Hopefully this ends the UK American beef.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to spread peace out there. We don't need a East Coast, West Coast.
Well, maybe like across the pond beef, But
yeah, man, we don't need that. We don't need that.
It's all love.
It's all love, man. Exactly. I'm even planning on going to UK and trying to, take some jobs away from y'all too. Just see even this thing out.
We love you guys in our stuff. We want you to come. Listen, you love, like, if you come London, I'll show you Brixton, I'll show you all these places. You'll love it because Brixton's a lot like Harlem as well.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it's a lot like Harlem.
Right. So that's South London, right?
Yeah. Oh wow, look
at because I listen to grime. I fuck with grime. Skepta and Stormzy. So I be hearing the references. I'm just like, all right, so that's got to be south. But
so come over, you'll see all our industry and stuff like that, all these dope creatives. So so that's cool. So thanks again, guys, for listening. You can follow me all on socials at the Kashif Boothe podcast, Kashif Boothe Entertainment or Kashif Boothe, and stay tuned for new episodes coming soon.